Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Talk About Tuesday. I think Joey's already in here. Appreciate you being here. Um, the ghost stories, sometimes it was Casper, sometimes it wasn't. um, I don't really, though, have just a ghost story today. I told the two major ones, the disappearing doll and the slamming doors. Um, the rest of the stuff was just kind of mundane compared to that. But they were, you know, freaked us out nonetheless. Hey, Piggy, welcome back. Appreciate you being here. My twin sister may pop in. I'm not real sure. Hey, Scotty. She said she might not. I mean, I can't never. She don't never just really commit. Whatever she might have going on. Yeah, I can still see the chat on this little tablet, but even with contacts in, it's kind of small, so I'm still going to check my computer. So if I look away, that's what I'm doing. Hey, Lynn. Hope you're doing good. Hope everybody's doing good. We've got the usual crew in here so far. I really do appreciate y'all coming in. And Derek's finally made an appearance. I don't know what video he was watching earlier, but I think he had to stop it when I told him that I was going live. That's just about what he does. You know, he'll try to catch up on other people's videos when he gets home from work. I'm kind of at a loss. I was just trying to check the chats. Hey, Melinda, glad you could be here. Hope you're doing good. We've I don't know if y'all can see it. I got my I voted sticker on here in Coffee County. It was, which I think it's all through the state of Georgia. But I went and voted. Um, something I used to didn't never do. But and I'm not going to turn this political, mind you. But now I do keep up more with like local elections, and I do try to vote. Hey, Suburban Hillbilly. Oh, I appreciate that, Suburban. I've got so many things I need to be doing around here. I just keep putting it off. I'm a bad procrastinator. Um, always have been. Whereas my twin sister, now that's one more difference in us. Um, she's always been. She's the only person. Well, I'm sure there's others, but she could work a 12-hour day and come in and still wash the dishes and just tidy up the home. Whereas I wouldn't have minded just stepping over a banana peel or something to get to my recliner. Rhonda's always been more motivated and just energetic like that, which may be why there's such a big weight difference in us. Hey, Canadian Family Life. Hope you're doing good. Thanks for being here. Show's 11 in here. I really do appreciate anybody that comes in. And I mean, this is the third episode of Talk About Tuesday, and I have definitely enjoyed the other two, and hope that that it's not just incredibly, boring. I try not to make it be, and I hope we don't have any encounters with snakes and mice and anything else. I don't want anything running across the top of my shoe tonight. And maybe this little tablet won't cut out like the other one did. That was a long 3 minutes, I'm sure, and I appreciate everybody that stuck it out. But I hope we got the little bugs worked out of this tablet where it won't do that anymore. Oh, Melinda, thank you. I'm glad y'all found it interesting. Because I do, it's like Derek said before, I do like to talk. But I don't want to just get so involved in me talking because that's what I wanted this channel to be. Just we could just talk about a different things that come up in the chat, and if I'm just the honest one talking, it would just be all me. Oh yeah, I can't see the chat on my tablet. I'm gonna have to look away. All right, yeah, Derek's Rat Patrol. Luckily, they are just mice because I know there's a difference. I know luckily we don't have like wolf rats in here. I've only ever seen like maybe 2 of those in my lifetime, and the first one that I ever saw was back like in 1997, and I honestly thought it was a cat. And one of my coworkers at the time said, "Gina, that wasn't a cat. That was a rat." And I still get cold chills thinking about it. I was sitting here though trying to think if I had another short little ghost story I could tell. Like I said, I told the disappearing doll and the slamming doors. I normally have one kind of picked out and practice it ahead of time, but I didn't do that today. I'm at a loss on which one I could tell. Because like I said, it was just in that house, if you put something down, whether you were fixing to use it again in 30 minutes or whatever, it would literally just disappear. And then you would find it in such an oddball spot that you knew you had never had that particular item. A dish rag, for example, went missing one night. My aunt and uncle and cousin was living with us at the time, and my aunt was cooking supper, and we were actually in mine and Rhonda's room playing, and we were, I don't know, probably around 9. And our cousin she was maybe not quite turned 5 yet, and our aunt stomped down the hallway and just pushed the door open and just demanded that we give her dish rag back to her. And we were looking at her like she had 2 heads because we didn't know what she was talking about. And she got on the phone with Mama. Mama and Daddy was at the service station, and she told Mama, she said, I'm down here trying to cook, and I don't mind. She said, but them girls keep walking in the kitchen just messing with me. And one of them took my dish rag and won't give it back. And yeah, that dish rag was found about 6 weeks later in the bottom pot of some stackable pots, like the waterless cookware, in the very back of the bottom cabinet. And my aunt just happened to be the one to find it in there. And she was shocked, and Mama tried to tell her, because it was Mama's sister is who it was. And she said, "See there, I tried to tell you that it wasn't the girls that done it." So yeah, that kind of made a believer out of her a little bit more. Oh, I know, Piggy, and I appreciate that advice. It's just I've always, I'm probably going to say that in every episode. I guess I'm just so eager to please. I don't know, too, and I don't want to say anything wrong or whatever. But yeah, I'll and I figure, hey, if somebody don't like it, there's always an exit. But I do appreciate everybody that sticks around and listens to me. I thought Rhonda might pop in, but hadn't seen her yet. Which, like I said in the last one or the first one, where they work, they have to be at work at 5 o'clock in the mornings. They normally get off work around 3:30, but and like I said, when I talked to her this morning, kind of she wasn't gonna say yay or nay. I mean, it was just how she felt this evening. All right, Lynn. Melinda, you saw a rat running in the intersection at Burger King? Huh. I've had little mice run out in front of me going down the road before. Sorry. Got my cold snack and I'm fixing to have to use my chapstick too. And I'll try to not make that so um, focused. Because I know I went back and watched my first live, and for some reason I was just so intently putting on that chapstick, just staring the camera down, and it even creeped me out when I went back and rewatched it. Yep, that's perfect, P. Ah, dear. Yep, the rat wanted it his way. I do have, because I've talked so about twins. Um, Now, I'm not sure if Joey and Ginger's sons are identical or fraternal, but me and Rhonda are identical. And even though now to me we don't look that much alike, people that don't know us though, if they only know like me or her, they'll sometimes get us mixed up. And people that don't know either of us that well, because where she works, truck drivers deliver to both of us, and we have freaked some truck drivers out before. Because they would leave her and then just go 2 miles where I work. And yeah, well, like I said, we have freaked some truck drivers out. But when me and Rhonda was little, we would, I it's the twinning thing. Just some weird stuff. For example, when we were in kindergarten, we got sick an awful lot, and not trying to be gross or nothing, but like puking sick. I mean, staying on the couch with a 5 gallon bucket beside you sick. And we hardly was ever sick though at the same time. It'd be like Rhonda would be sick, and then about 2 weeks later I would be. And we lived right across the road from the school, K through sixth grade school. And sorry. Um, I was sick one day, and Rhonda had went on to school. And because we lived just right there across from the school, it just had like a dog wire fence around the playground part. So that's how we walked to school. Mama would just walk us to the road, let us know when to cross, and then we just climb over that dog wire fence, walk through the playground, and go to our classroom at the time. And they always separated us. They never put us in the same class. Their thinking was it was so they could tell us apart better, and that turned into a disaster. They didn't learn us apart. Most of the time, they didn't even remember that we had a twin, to each other. But I was laying there on the couch sick, and it was close to lunchtime, and I don't remember if Mama had just come in there or if I called her into the living room. But I told her, as I laid there sick, I told her that Rhonda was crying. Well, Mama kind of not just panicked, but she immediately ran to the window. Not ran to the window. She went to the window. Even though the kindergartners didn't get to play on that front playground, we had to play in the back. The older kids got to play up front on those jungle gyms and stuff. But Mama just went to the window thinking that I could maybe see out that window and saw Rhonda. And there was nobody on the playground. So Mama just kind of passed it off as and something like I had been dreaming, or maybe my fever had spiked and it was just delirious talk. I don't know. But she didn't really pay much more attention than that. And when school got out that day, Mama would always go wait on the porch until she would see us both walking through that playground. But on that particular day, like I said, because I was home, it was just Rhonda. And as Rhonda got closer to the fence, Mama was telling her when she could cross the highway. And she noticed that there was a note pinned to Rhonda's shirt. And Mama read it. And the teacher, Rhonda's teacher, had wrote a little note and sent home with her that she had inadvertently hurt Rhonda's feelings in class that day and had made her cry. And the teacher wanted to explain what happened before Rhonda just told Mama. The teacher wanted Mama to understand what had happened. And so, yeah, that was when I had told Mama that Rhonda was crying. She really was. And what had made her cry, they were getting ready to go to lunch, and Rhonda was causing the class to be just held up. Rhonda was putting something back in her bag or in her desk. I see you, Derek. But
I just want to let you know that Michael just texted and said that Rhonda was watching inside of her eyelids right now.
Okay, my sister's not going to pop in.
That, but Michael's watching.
She came home from work and crashed.
Michael's
but my brother-in-law's watching. So, hey, Michael. But anyway, back to what made her cry. She was putting something up in her desk or her little book bag or something, and the teacher had turned around and said, "Come on, Slowpoke." And it hurt Rhonda's feelings and made her cry. So, but yeah, like I said, when I was laying there on the couch sick, I told Mama that Rhonda was crying, and sure enough, she was. And it was just little things like that. And sometimes even now, when, like I said, we're 47 years old. For somebody, though, that doesn't have a twin or hadn't never been around twins much, there are, I'm sure, several people, could say something like that. Some story along those lines. Y'all done started talking about food in the chat. I did not eat lunch today. I skipped lunch so I could kind of leave work early. We didn't have much going on anyway. But we were needing a few things from Walmart, so I left work early. Went to Walmart, and I spent $200 and didn't hardly really get anything. Well, I take that back. We got some stuff to eat, but it just did not take long for $200 to add up. So yeah, when I'm seeing hot wings and stuff like that, I'm hungry. Hi, Scotty. Yeah. And mine and Rhonda's oldest sister, she actually had a set of identical twins. So I've got twin nieces as well. And that's one reason me and Derek decided not to have children. There was just too much twins in the family. I didn't figure that because knowing our luck, we'd have probably had like I don't know 6 at the time. Yeah, Lynn, that I've heard of that too. Especially when there's a close connection between people, and it don't even have to be twins. It can just be really closely connected people with the physical pain. But speaking of physical pain and feeling that, me and Rhonda was I really don't know how old we were, maybe 9 or 10. And Mama had let us go to a little classmates that was right down the road from the service station. She had got one of those little kiddie pools. So Mama let us go down there one day and just swim around. And we didn't clean out our ears. Just kind of inevitable that I was going to get ear infection from it. And it started that I think we'd gotten a little pool on a Saturday. And by Monday, my right ear was hurting really, really bad. I mean, to the point of I was in tears. And Mama tried to doctor it, the best she could. She put alcohol in it and put the cotton ball. And she kept telling me that if I could just hold on another day, that they would take me to the doctor. Because Mom and Daddy closed the service stations on Tuesdays. And so, like I said, I was in tears because my right ear hurt so bad. And that Tuesday morning, the 4 of us, me and Rhonda and Mom and Daddy, got ready, went to town, took me to the doctor. And Daddy always just waited outside in the truck or the car, whatever we were in at the time. But Mama would go in with me and Rhonda. And Rhonda always went back, no matter which one of us. We just always, Mama took both of us back when one of us was called. So we got in the room, and I was sitting up on the exam table, and Mama was sitting in the little chair. I think Rhonda might have been sitting in Mama's lap. But the doctor come in, and I'd still been crying because my right ear was about to kill me. And he looked in my ear, and then he looked in my left ear, and he turned around and asked Mama. He said, "She's been crying for a couple of days now." Mama said, "Yeah." And he said, "What about her?" And he pointed to Rhonda. Mama said, "No, she ain't even complained about an earache or nothing." He said, "I want to check something." He went over there and looked in her right ear, and immediately he set me down off that exam table and put her up there on it. Her right ear was so badly infected that it had already started bleeding. And it surprised him that Rhonda had not even complained about an earache because hers was terrible. I didn't even have ear infection, but I was getting her pain. Rhonda never, she never even had an earache, but I did. So yeah, I guess I was stopping her from that pain, but yeah. Which I'm just glad that the doctor, because he knew, how twins can be. I'm just glad he didn't just dismiss, that there was nothing wrong with Rhonda and not even look in her ears, because it would have probably got really bad if he hadn't looked. But now the minute he discovered her ear was so bad, I don't remember mine hurting anymore. Yeah, I was I was taking one for the team. But now that morning I had appendicitis, she didn't feel anything. So Which I wouldn't have wished that on her now. I seriously wouldn't have wanted her to experience that. We are actually what's called mirror twins. She's left-handed, I'm right-handed. Our cowlicks are on opposite sides. Just different things like that. Yeah, Scotty, I just saw your comment about not wanting to raise kids. I So far, I mean, me and Derek's been married for 26 years, and so far, that's not a decision that we, regret about not having kids. I just couldn't imagine. We just never felt like it was the right time, though, either. Never mind the fact we were living in a little 12-foot wide trailer. I mean, there's barely enough room for us. I couldn't imagine, having a kid in there too. The money just always seemed to be not right. You know, which I've often been told if somebody waits until it's the right time to have a kid, human race would have died out a long time ago because nobody would have them. But it's just like I said, I don't regret that decision. Yeah, Lynn, earaches definitely hurt because it's most of the time if you get something like a stomach ache, you can rub, you can put your hand on it and just anything like that. And an earache, you can't hardly do anything for that. Uh, there's no comfort to it. My arm's trying to go to sleep. I got to change position on it. Had it propped up on my desk. But now I don't know if my nieces have ever experienced, any of the twin and stuff. If they have, it's just never been really discussed and talked about. Which now they have children too, but neither one of those had twins. So that would have been neat though if at least one of them had a. Which Rhonda doesn't have any children either, so it is possible if we had decided, to have children, it's possible that one of us would have. Hey Ginger, glad you stopped in. I hope you're doing good. Now Derek's family, there was some twins on his. I think it was on his paternal grandmother's side. There was twins in that line too. Yeah, Ginger, it is hot. We're supposed to be, I think, around 91 for a high by the end of the week. But even on these like 82, 83-degree days, with the sun out, it's high humidity or it's getting up there, and it's hot. So I don't know. This is only May 21st. I am dreading the middle of July and first, week of August because we hadn't even really seen hot weather yet. But it's just unseasonably hot, I think. Which I don't. We need to go outside and work. Um, our yard looks terrible. I'm surprised we hadn't had people trying to, these squatters. I'm surprised we hadn't had people trying to crawl in the window thinking this place is deserted or vacant. The way the yard looks. Um, Twins can sometimes freak people out though, especially children. I remember when me and Rhonda was in elementary school, and like I said, now they never put us in the same class, but we would sometimes, because we were in the same grade, just separate classes, we would go to recess at the same time. And when her classmates, and my classmates would see us playing, and they just, I remember some of them had questions like, they ask us, when was they look at me and say, when's your birthday? Then they look at Rhonda and say, when is your birthday? And we tried our best to explain how twins work, but they didn't understand it, which I guess to maybe first graders, second graders, they're not going to understand. But then we really would freak them out when I'd tell them that she was born just 4 minutes before me, that she's 4 minutes older. They just couldn't wrap their head around it, I don't guess. Which that was one reason too, though, me and Rhonda was so shy when we were younger, and even as older or young adults, we were shy. It's simply though because we had so much attention when we were small, younger, just because, like I said, twins, which I'm fascinated by twins myself, but I do understand, how it can freak the kids out if you just really pay them so much attention, and it just seemed to be that way everywhere we went. Just a lot of strangers and people just coming up, talking to Mama and wanting to talk to us, and so it basically turned us shy. Which, for me, like I said in my live debut, once I got my first, it wasn't my first job, but it was the first time that I was working in town and meeting people that I had no idea existed. Just my first public job, to where I was dealing with a lot more strangers than just my little hometown here. I'm not shy anymore, by no means. Yeah, Ginger, I saw the broccoli. Now Derek loves broccoli, and I mean he'll even eat it raw with like ranch dressing. I'm not too fond of broccoli. I will eat it like if we get a Chinese dish like the beef and broccoli or chicken and broccoli, but I like mine a little cooked. But then, like I guess with the soy sauce and stuff, I don't like just regular steamed broccoli or raw broccoli. And I wouldn't even eat broccoli for a long time until I had got with Derek. And he had got a dish from our there in Douglas, a little Chinese place. And I tried it one time and just really, really liked that. But I don't eat just plain old broccoli. Oh yeah, Ginger, that's exactly, you know exactly what I'm talking about with the kids. Yeah, now Lynn, I agree there too. Me and Rhonda, we we are best friends, and there again, like I said one time before, we might as well have been attached at the hip. Um, but in our little hometown, just our small community, because it was a small town, I could be walking to the store alone, and people would look at me and go, "Hey, girls." I was plural. I was never me. And they hardly ever used our names because they were afraid of getting us mixed up. So they wouldn't even say like, well, hey, Regina, or hey, Gina. None of that. It was just, hey, girls. Always plural, never. I basically become a hey, you, or hey, y'all. Which me and Rhonda agree that we can say that about being twins, and it's no offense or no insult to one another. We understand it, and most twins, I think, will understand. Um, Now our grandpa, he could always tell us apart. It was Mama's daddy. He could always tell us apart. Even on the telephone, he could tell us apart. Um, Of course this was there was no caller ID when we were little. But I remembered I answered the phone at the house one time and I just said hello. And my grandpa said, "Hey Gina, where's your mama at?" He always said that we answered the phone different. Rhonda would answer it a certain way and I did. And he learned to tell us apart. Like I said, even on the telephone. Yeah, Scotty. Now, Mama never dressed us identical. Now, we had the same kind of clothes, but Mama always dressed us in different colors. And Rhonda's colors was red and pink, and mine was more of the blue or the purple. Um, I don't ever remember her dressing us in the exact same colors. Maybe when we were little, but I'm not sure. Every picture I've ever seen of us, we have been in different colored clothing. Like I said, the same kind, but just different colors. Well, and I'm not knocking rhyming names, but I am most of the twin sets of twins that we went to school with, even they had rhyming names. Now my nieces don't, and um, Mama just never considered us having rhyming names. I don't guess. But I went to school with right on up till graduation with I don't know, probably about 4 or 5 sets of twins, and like I said, every one of them, with the exception of one, their names rhymed. Now, when we were born, like I said, Rhonda's 4 minutes older than me, so she was A baby and I was B baby, and I really don't remember the circumstances, but she had to be on some sort of like medicine that I didn't. So even after Mama named us, Mama kept the A bracelets on Rhonda and the B bracelets on me for several days, even after we, were back home. And there was some well-intentioned people in our town that come down to the house and was just, wanting to do Mama a favor, Mama and Daddy a favor. So they let Mama sleep, and when Mama had just finally crashed, she I don't know, she'd slept most of the day. And when she got up, the good people of our town that was going to help her, all right, let's cut them nasty bracelets off of their little hands, your wrist, and their ankles. So when Mama realized that we no longer was wearing our A and B bracelets, she asked several of the ladies, said, "Well, you know who's who though, right?" And they're like, "Yeah, that's Rhonda, that's Regina." And then the lady standing beside her said, "No, you got it backwards." So we had to, we had to take a trip back to the hospital and match up our footprints just to be sure. Because, and the honest reason, well, one of many reasons is because Rhonda, like I said, had to have that particular medication and I didn't. Um, so good, good-hearted people, well intentions, but they didn't help anything really. Yeah, there's more twins than what I even, that it's really not rare anymore, um, like it used to be. I don't know, Melinda. Maybe Rhonda. We have often wondered that, if in that mix up, if I was originally named Rhonda and she was originally named Regina, but we've been ourselves so long that it doesn't matter anymore, I guess, even if we used to find out that's the case. Yeah, Piggy. Like I said, heart of gold, and people do mean well, but um, sometimes it's just it's not helpful. It can be not necessarily hurtful or harmful, but especially when they want to do something their way. Yeah, Derek's always called us both the evil twin. So, Lynn, 9 babies at once. Goodness, that's kind of, I mean, borderline on a litter, I would think. Yeah, Scotty, they probably didn't know. And I understand it. But they should have, made sure of what they were doing before they done it. But now, when my oldest sister, she already had a son. He was 6 when she got pregnant with the twins, and she was about 3, almost 4 months along, and didn't even know it was twins. They were hidden behind one another because she had done have like, I don't know, 2 or 3 sonograms, and I was actually with her the day that she had to see a new doctor because her regular doctor was on vacation or something, and that doctor came out and he's like, well, the doctor didn't tell me that it was twins, and she nearly fell over. I mean, she was not expecting that at all. But now they were actually, well, I don't want to get too graphic, um, but even with identical twins, they're in a sack, but then each baby is in its own sack. My nieces weren't. They were actually in the same bag. Um, so there wasn't any major problems, but then they had to be born through cesarean. But the one that came out first, she weighed 5 pounds, and then the one that was come out second, she was actually a whole pound smaller. She only weighed 4 pounds. So they were really easy to tell apart when they were first born because of just simply their weight difference. And they're about a half an inch difference in height too. Now me and Rhonda are. I'm a little taller than she is. But now there's a significant weight difference now. But when we were born, which I always tease her, um, that I've been bigger than her my whole life because even at birth, she weighed 5'11" and I weighed 5'13". So that 2 ounces turned into many, many pounds difference over the years. Um, I tease her too, and I always have, and talked about it before that because when we were little, now she would hold that 4 minute being older than me over my head, and I would tease her the older we got. That the only reason she was born first is because I was evicting her from our apartment, so I was kicking her out. That's why she was born first. That's why she's the oldest one. Thank you, Canadian Family Life, for being here. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good night and enjoy supper. I don't know really what me and Derek's going to have for supper. Um, I really didn't get much to cook today when I went to Walmart. I kind of got like quick and easy microwavable meals. Because we like the Stofers. Um, it's the grandma's vegetable rice or something. That's my favorite. I do have one of those in the freezer that I may have to microwave. Yeah, Piggy. I agree about the weight. Oh, Derek, you said buying the sausage and crackers. It took me forever just to find him the regular cans of buying the sausage today. I almost accidentally got him chicken, which I don't know if he likes the chicken ones or not. There was barbecue flavor and a chicken one, and then it seemed like there was a different one in chicken, and I finally found the original. Yeah, Lynn, I think I have heard of that before. Um, because of the releasing of a separate egg, it can be fertilized at a different time and by a different person. Because I knew a guy one time, his daughter actually collected child support through this agency. She was in charge of like making sure the person paid it. And anytime that somebody would file on for child support, they would have to, of course, do a paternity test. And this woman had fraternal twins. They weren't identical; they were fraternal twins, and they wanted to take blood from both of the children to match to the guy that she claimed was the father of them. And she got really upset, is what I was told. You know, because this is a secondhand story. That she got their twins, and sure enough, it turned out that one of them, only one of the fraternal twins, belonged to the guy that the woman had said, and the other one did not. And bless the woman's heart, she didn't really know who the other one might belong to, so she could only claim, there was just one kid getting child support until she could come up with another name for the second fraternal for the other fraternal twin. Yeah, Melinda, I'm sure it happens a lot, and some people though aren't even aware of that. But now, even fraternal twins fathered by the same guy, they can be very different, even in appearances, just as different as regular, you know, brother and sister born 2 or 3 years apart. Fraternal twins doesn't have to look alike. Um, and I just remembered that me and Rhonda has a first cousin on daddy's side. She actually had fraternal twins, not identical ones, but she had twins as well. So yeah, twins run bad in my family. Yeah, I'm not sure what Derek's going to scrounge up for us tonight. Now, when Derek does like any sort of beans, which are just frozen peas and stuff, but we get that seasoning him and Now Derek likes a lot of the seasoned meat in his, and it does turn out good. And we don't do we just always get that 5 minute rice. That's way easier. I don't know. I don't think I have ever done like the rice that you have to cook for like 20 minutes or 25 minutes or whatever. I've just always got that 5 minute rice. You put equal parts of rice and water in or equal parts, but you boil the water and then pour the rice in and let it come back up to a boil and let it set for 5 minutes and fluff it with a fork, and it's good. And don't take near as long as the traditional rice. And there y'all go again, talking all this food. I definitely realize I skipped lunch. My stomach's over there. I'm surprised y'all I hadn't heard it. My stomach's growling. Yes, Dottie, it's the Uncle Ben's minute rice. Well, no, mine wasn't Uncle Ben's. It's it's the red box. I can't remember now what it is called, but I don't think it was Uncle Ben's.
This red box just says minute on it. Minute rice.
Like Derek just told me, it's just the red box that just says minute across the top, just minute rice. Yeah, Lynn, 9 minutes left. This hour has definitely went by fast. Yeah, that's what it is, Melinda. It's just minute rice. I don't know if I ever got Uncle Ben's rice, but now we like yellow rice too, but only with certain things. Um, but it's been a long time since we had yellow rice, but that's always been good too. And I know I mentioned it in my live debut. I'm not a real good cook, so any kind of shortcuts I can take to try to make something better, that's what I'm for. Like I said, with the rice, I tried to do beef stew one time, and uh, which I didn't have a pressure cooker like Mama did, but I done the rice and I boiled the stew meat and I put it all together, and it was, you could eat it, but it tasted like rice and stew meat. There was no marrying of the flavors. So I never even tried to do that again. I tried chicken and dumplings one time. I didn't make the dumplings, of course. I let Mary Hills do that, but it just wasn't, it didn't turn out real good. There again, they were edible, but it's just not something that I want to mess up again, really. Oh, excuse me. Oh. Yeah, Lynn. I could just imagine about a whole baseball team. Derek's granny used to tell a joke. That was cute. I started to tell it, but it's not too bad. It was a little off color, I guess. But she used to tell about this woman had married a man, and they had, I don't know how many children, and then her husband passed away, and she had many more children with her second husband, and she finally died. And there at her funeral, two parishioners, was talking about, wonder if they were together again. And the one looked at him and said, "Are you talking about her and her first husband?" And he said, "No, her legs." Like I said, off color, I know. But for Derek's granny to tell that, and she would just cackle when she would tell it. So And I probably told it a little too quickly. I hope y'all could follow it. Like I said, I apologize because it's not totally G-rated, but it's not, bad, bad, bad either. Oh, I'm sure, Piggy, that Eileen can make some chicken and dumplings. My oldest sister can, but I I was trying too hard, I think, though, to start with. That didn't put enough salt the first time. Then the second time, I put too much salt. Um, One time there was too much broth. The other time, it just really wasn't enough. I never had that perfect pot of chicken and dumplings. There was always some little something glitchy with it. And like I said, I mean, we could eat it, but Derek, you said you make a mean beef stew? Oh, a beef stew, yeah. I said, what did I say a while ago? I meant like stew beef and rice. But yeah, Derek does make a good little stew with the stew meat and stuff, and then he puts vegetables and stuff in it. It is really good. Yeah, Piggy, my experiments though, well, the way things have gotten now, that could get costly. And that's what I said before in my life. Mama could cook anything. She could mess up and still make something good. Um, I did not, even though I grew up watching her cook, there were so many things I didn't ask her about and I didn't talk to her about. And it was too easy, I hate to say, after me and Derek got married, that, because we would go and eat with Mama and Daddy. We'd eat with them, we'd eat supper with them on Tuesday nights. So most of the time we were um, just easy meals. So I didn't really cook a lot back then, which for 3 years we didn't even have a stove. We lived out of the microwave, and Mama had bought me a little hot plate for like I could scramble eggs and stuff in, but like I said, we didn't even have a stove for 3 years. Um, yeah, Piggy. But I learned a long time ago too, just because I watched my grandmother one time cook deer meat, and first time when me and Derek was together that he killed a deer, I told him, I said, I got this. I watched my grandma do it. No, there. I did not duplicate the process apparently because I seen her flour it, put it in some grease, turn it, and then let it simmer, and then she would make gravy in the pan too. So that's what I tried, and yeah, that did not go well either. Not at all. Um, I overcooked it is what I had done. But just about the time though that I perfected cooking deer cube steak, we ran out and we've not been hunting since, and we hadn't had deer cube steak in uh, that season. I guess made yeah, 11 years since we've had deer cube steak, deer meat of any kind. Which the last deer we had, I actually got. It was October 2012. I killed my first and only deer that I shot and killed. I was tickled. But like I said, once we run out of deer meat, we've never been back hunting since. Derek was working just about every Saturday back then, and on Sundays he just didn't feel like getting up early and going. Yeah, Piggy, I've seen a few of Eileen's videos, and I do like the way she does them. Anybody, could learn from them. Well, y'all, I think Lynn's fixing to give me the minute warning because we were down to 2 minutes. So I am going to be going ahead and wrapping this up because I know y'all got other things, probably other videos to watch or lives. But I have really enjoyed seeing everybody, and thank y'all so much for coming in. Like I said, talk about Tuesday. We've covered a wide variety. I think today mostly twins, but I do appreciate y'all listening to me. And I'm probably going to skip next weekend. I'm unsure yet on even the next Tuesday, but I'll try to send out a notification again like I did because we've got some stuff at work fixing to do, like inventory and stuff, so I'm just not sure yet. But I'll definitely try to do another Tuesday sometime within the next 2 or 3 weeks. But y'all just have a very good night, and I appreciate all of y'all coming in. And until the next Talk About Tuesday, y'all just have a good night. Stay safe. Love each of you. So good night. Bye.